my name's Malcolm Munro and I'm president of Total Career Mastery, and today I'd like to talk to you about something that's really important. Now, most of you probably know that looking for work by finding jobs on the internet is really like going down a dry hole looking for oil. People will tell you, and I would agree, that the number one best way to find a job is to get it through your network. And you know, you hear that over and over and over, but what most people don't do is give you strategies on actually how to network. And so that's what I'd like to do today. I'd like to think about 3 strategies you can use to be a more effective networker. The first thing you really got to do, though, is realize the value of it. Everything that you get that's important often comes through the connections that you make. And so the broader your connections, the more things you can actually get. More importantly, though, the people that you meet that you can give something to helps build rapport that you could use probably much later. It's not an easy thing to do. The more difficult something is, the less people want to do it. So if you're using networking to find a job, just realize that there won't be many people out there that are going to do it because it does take time. So how can you do it? First thing you want to think about is the modern tools of networking. The most modern tool I think out there now is probably the program LinkedIn. Now you can probably go to YouTube and find all kinds of tutorials on how to use LinkedIn, but I'll just give you some tips that have worked well for me. Number 1, when you put your LinkedIn profile up, make sure you put your working resume in there. The second thing is put a picture of yourself. There's nothing that creeps me out more than seeing somebody's profile with just a little gray silhouette. So make sure you put your profile picture in there, a professional one, not you on the beach drinking beer, but something very professional. And then start getting involved in discussion groups. Discussion groups are around most every topic, and if you put your information and start to upload comments and good questions, you might be seen as somebody who's credible. And finally, spend some time each day looking at people you may know. When you begin to connect with other people, you'll have an opening to their connections and you'll be amazed at who's connected to who. Spend some time and work your LinkedIn profile and keep it current, keep it updated. Second thing you want to do if you want to increase your network is to start blogging. Blogging is a way for you to demonstrate your expertise in a subject by putting information out. By demonstrating your thought leadership through blogging, you'll be able to connect to other people through the internet, and a lot of people will search and your name would pop up for information that's relevant. Think about yourself as someone who will pass along information, which is why if you use the programs like Twitter and Facebook, make sure you're not doing those just to update your status about something that's interesting only to you. Pass along information. Look for articles that are relevant to communities you're part of or people that you know that you have a networking relationship with, and send them relevant articles and forward on tweets of things that are interesting. Second thing you can do is look at old school tools. All right, old school means things like using the phone and even sending email. It's funny how email becomes old school when everything else is so advanced. But along with email, we're talking about letters, sending people postcards. It's a way to check in with your network. And I'll give you a little formula strategy here in a moment. Third way is to really just read up on things. Make sure that you're reading books that help you network better. The book Networking is a Contact Sport by Joe Sweeney is probably one of the best books I've read recently. And then, of course, Keith Ferrazzi wrote a really good book called Never Eat Alone, which is, I think, initially probably the best book ever written. So look at strategies and really work it. Have things like business cards with you that you can pass along when you go to meetings, but make sure you're not one to shove a business card in somebody's face. What you want to do is build a relationship, build a rapport, and then exchange the card. And by the way, when you meet with people in person, the best thing to do is talk to that person about themselves. No one is really interested, I hate to say it, in what you want to do, but they will be if you show a genuine interest in what's interesting to them. So start by asking people what they do, ask them how you can assist them, and you'll be amazed at how that's reciprocated. Networking is all about giving, but the beauty of giving is that there's that reciprocal component, which is how great rapport and great opportunities come about. Finally, think about networking as something you need to do every day. Now, there's a great formula in Joe Sweeney's book. I've modified it a little bit for myself, and this is a goal that I'm trying to work on really hard now. The first goal is to make sure that you're working on 10 pieces of correspondence a day, which would be targeted emails to somebody checking in, or even something as simple as a postcard you write a few notes on and send it. Maybe even going old school and sending an actual letter. The second thing to do is think about 15 phone calls a day to just sort of ping that network. Just let people know you're thinking about them and checking in on them. Don't call them for any other purpose but to say hello and ask them how they're doing. if you don't do that often, whenever somebody hears from you, they're going to probably think that, you've got something to give them. I'll be honest and tell you, most of the time I hear from people, it's always how you doing, and then, hey, I'm looking for some opportunities. So why don't you be the person that just calls to say hi? It makes a huge difference. Success in life comes mostly through other people. And the best way to get to know other people is through putting together and working a very strong network. Hopefully that helps you. It's something that you really need to take seriously, especially if you're looking for work. But anything you want to do in life that involves other people will always lead to your success. Hope that helps. Have an awesome day.